All right, so we just got done working on the polynomials and the polynomial operations, adding, subtracting, and multiplying. Now we're going to go through another operation, and that is division. So when we do polynomial division, I want you to mostly focus on synthetic division. Synthetic division always works when you're dividing out a linear term. So we're not going to do number 8 when we're going through our synthetic division algorithm. But it's okay. We can go through these other problems with ease doing synthetic division. So what you want to do is get in the habit of working through a lot of examples with synthetic division. So if you can, go back over to, your 2.2 exercises and maybe work through some of the even problems along with some of these odd problems in the earlier video that I made if you need a lot of practice. Because these are just 3 examples that I'm going to go through, but you have a lot that you can do on in your worksheet packet. All right, so on this first one, we're going to set up the synthetic division algorithm. Remember, we put a corner here, and that's where we're going to divide out. And then we draw a line here, and we put all of the coefficient values up on top here. So we have 5n to the third, negative 3n squared. We don't have an n value here, if you notice. So that means that we're going to put a 0 there for the placeholder, and then we have 1 for the constant value. Wherever you have your constant value, below that, you're going to put a box which is going to house your remainder. All right, now we got to figure out what goes in the corner here. So what we do is we take the dividing polynomial and we set it equal to 0 and solve it. So if I add 3 to both sides, I get 5n equals 3. And then divide by 5, I get n equals 3/5. So that's going to be the number that we're going to divide into all these. All right, so now let's set up our division algorithm. We first start by dropping down the very first coefficient. So since there's a 5 here, it's going to drop down as a 5 here. Now we start multiplying. So 3/5 times 5, if you want, you can use your calculator on that. 3 over 5 times 5 gives me 3. So then that means that this times this gives me 3. I add these two numbers together. 3 plus negative 3 is 0. And then I take this number and I multiply it by the number in the corner. 0 times 3/5 is 0, so I move that over here, 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 times 3/5 again is 0. And then if I add these straight down, I get 1. Now, here's something that you need to remember for synthetic division. When you're all done finding your coefficients, if you have a lead coefficient on your divisor, so in this case it's 5, I need to divide all of these coefficients by 5 at the very end. So all of these need to be divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. 0 divided by 5 gives me 0. 0 divided by 5 gives me 0 again. And then you just leave the remainder as it is, because it's going to be the remainder 1, regardless of whether or not you add those values in. All right, so we've got 1. Now, let's talk about the terms that we have. So this value right here is going to be the constant term. This value right over here is going to be the x term. And this value over here is going to be the x squared term. All right, so that means that we have 1x squared plus 0x plus 0 for our constant value, plus our remainder, which is 1 over 5n, that's our variable n, minus 3. All right, so that's number 7. I'm going to leave that one, and I'm going to do each one of these individually. So that's number 7 for you.